Good evening, good people. Welcome to another episode of Hit List. Now, today we're going to do a couple of things different. First things first, I'm going to tell multiple stories. Now, I usually do not tell more than 2 stories because I don't want these videos to be too long. But I got some good ones, and I got a request for a specific subject, and these are the stories I have on that subject. Other thing we're doing different today is switching to beer. Got a whole bunch of them during my baby shower. And I like Dos Equis, so, I'm not tripping. So, today, we're going to talk about gratuity, okay? Now, by gratuity could mean a couple things, especially in the hospitality world. There's a gratuity you get directly from customers. There's gratuity that you get from people who are hosting parties, so that's kind of like event planners, promoters, those type of people. And then there's a gratuity that you get on your own. Now, I ain't advocating for that. I'm just saying this is what happens. Okay? So, let's talk about the first gratuity. First set of gratuity, which is gratuity that you get from event planners and promoters. Now, when event promoters are putting these events together, a lot of times they have leftover stuff that's supposed to go to the guests, and it never ends up making it to the guests for all kinds of different reasons, right? If you haven't heard my story about the drunk guy next to the toilet, you need to listen to it. But I'm fast forward past that. As a matter of fact, I will link that video in the bio. Not the bio, I'm sorry. I will link that video in the comments so you can, just go to it and see it. But long story short, we were working at a party for a diamond company. And while we were at the party, it's a great event, dancers, models, ice sculptures, the party had everything. Way too many staff, party had everything. But one of the things that we got towards the end, and this is something they had for all of the visitors, which if you kind of think about how much this thing costs, it's kind of a lot, is this portfolio. Now, this thing's from Leeds. I've had this for no less than 12 years and served me very well. But the party planner, party manager, event manager, that person gave one of these to all of the staff, well, everybody who wanted one, when we left that party. And it's one of my favorite pieces of gratuity, particularly from event manager, that I've ever received. Just love the hell out of it. And it was, these things are, I think they're probably about $35. At least at the time, they were $35 a piece. And this party had like hundreds of people there. So it's a big thing. The next kind of gratuity is gratuity that you take on your own. Now, I like to call it the spoils of war. I'm not advocating that anybody go and take some shit that doesn't belong to them. So, just keep that in mind. But I will tell you this. I was working this party, and it's actually, incidentally, by another jeweler. And at this party, which was at a house, which in and of itself was a work of art. As a matter of fact, the house had a pool inside. There was a hedge maze outside, statues everywhere. The thing was made out of, what looked like marble. The entire house was made out of what looked like marble. This diamond company had rented it out. And when they rented it out, they had also commissioned a rosé specifically for this event. Now, I don't know if they, kept using it at other events or not, but I do know that they commissioned it directly for this event. Branded and everything. And patrons were going through this stuff like crazy. So we're grabbing a hand over fist. And usually I get to sample all of this craft branded signature stuff. This is just so happened to be one of the cases where I didn't. So what I ended up doing is I'm packing up everything for the night. I was working the bar, pack up everything for the night, putting it on the truck. And as I load the last case of this branded rosé, and actually I didn't load it on the truck, I loaded that into the house because they were keeping it. My manager, let's call him Chris, comes to me and says, "Man, Black, did you get a chance to sample that rosé?" I said, "Man, no, I didn't even get to taste." Dude says, "Well, shit, Merry Christmas." Reaches behind his back, which we were standing right next to like a little fountain, so there was a little ledge right there, and hands me a bottle and says, "Hey, look, man, enjoy it." And I don't know how much this stuff costs. Like I said, this is a spoils award thing, but there was a cool factor to it because it was a recognizable diamond company. So, funny story about that. I never did get to taste that. So what I did is I had it in mind that this bottle was something special, right? And even though other people had got one, most people had not seen a branded rosé bottle from anywhere, but specifically this company, this diamond company. So I said, man, I'm gonna hold on to this thing. You know, I had been keeping it in my dorm room at the time, on a shelf, you know, letting people see all that kind of silly shit. And I never got to taste it because when I moved in with my little brother, him and his friends got tore up one night, went in my drawer, and drank my bottle of branded rosé. And while I was upset about it at the time, and maybe a little bit still, you know, it's a nice story to tell. It's a nice story to tell. So, the third type of gratuity is directly from your customer, you know, your patron to you as a server, you know, bartender, that kind of gratuity. And this story involves a fairly high profile, let's call them a retailer. I don't want to go at it because they may still do this party, and I don't want to blow nothing up for anybody. But what this guy does is he has all of the people who work a holiday party at his house. And now, for those of you who all don't know, it's a house party, but it's a really big house. So there are probably about somewhere between 10 and 12 people that are working this particular event. So you got like 4 chefs and somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 8 wait staff. And maybe a bartender in there. He lines them all up in one of the rooms and goes down the line and hands them $100 bills. Now, I'll be the first to say this. I don't know if this is to stun on those people. I don't know if the idea behind it is to show personal gratitude. I do know that it is a big performance that is, you know, for lack of a better word, something that is taken very seriously by all of this person's staff, like his house staff, house manager, butlers, those type of people, personal assistants. They all take it very seriously, and he does it religiously every single time that they had this party at the house. So, needless to say, anytime you get $100 on top of your check, as a waiter or as a bartender, or hell, as anybody who's getting $100 on top of their regular check would and should be happy to participate in something, even if it's foolishness. So I want to say to my folks out in the service industry, good news, at least coming from TABC. I know we're trying to figure out how to navigate it, but you know, I did want to throw that out there. But folks, that's all I got for today. As I always say, thank you for sharing this time with me. If you have any stories you want to share with me, if you have any stories you want me to share with the world, hit me up, let me know. Till next time, y'all be safe out there. Peace.